Much for taking the time to talk about your new film, The Miracle Club.
My pleasure. Happy to be here.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed this film, and obviously your performance is one of the highlights for me. Something about you as an actress is you seem to manage to oscillate between softness and strength with such ease. Can I ask how you do that? You have such command over how you portray emotion.
Oh, that's very kind. Thank you very much. I'm glad you think that. I'm glad you saw that, particularly in this performance, because it's, Chrissie is someone who is holding a lot, and she is certainly not one thing. And I happen to believe that about everyone, that no one is one thing. And when you're portraying a character, I tend to look for as many different qualities as possible, or many different choices that a character would make, so that they're not just a one-dimensional human being. So thank you for noticing that.
Of course. And I love Chrissie's character because she's very empathetic, someone who could have been hardened by the raw deals they've gotten throughout life. Yeah. She allows it to make herself soft. And I'm very Irish. Most of my family's out in Belfast. And I felt like you portrayed, as did the other characters, Irish womanhood very well, especially with some really funny scenes about what happens when the men get left alone.
Yes,
I got the biggest kick out of it. Yeah, I was like, oh, wait till my uncles see this.
Yeah, well, I made the decision that when she went to America and things turned out the way that they did, that she basically just put herself in service.
I noticed that. There was that really nice scene where you're kind of under the impression that Chrissie became a nurse or a doctor.
Yes, she became a pediatric nurse.
Wonderful.
And so my choice was that she had taken everything from the experience that she had that had imprinted her so deeply, and that she turned herself to be in service to children primarily.
That's really beautiful. You personified through Chrissie, but I don't think this is the type of thing you can fake. It must be a real quality you have. You personified mercy. And I was wondering who you learn about mercy from, or who you seek that example from, where you get it.
Oh, I've never thought of that. A person. That's a hard thing for me. I always, what I have learned, and I have wonderful people in my life, and I don't mean to not point to someone within my family or within my community, but most of the really important lessons and qualities that have helped me in life, I've learned from the theater.
Wow.
And being in the theater and being in service to the theater. So I find that most important lessons in life, that's where I happen to learn them. Some people learn them in church, some people learn them in various different places, but for me it's the arts, and I see mercy in the arts everywhere. I feel it is a transformative, powerful tool, and an expression of humanity that for me is extremely powerful.
I'm so excited to hear you say that, and I completely agree. I think the theater is a sacred space, right? And I think you got it right on the money. What a lot of people find in church, a lot of other people find in theater, and I'm just glad everybody's finding it, right?
Me too. And the fact that theater and church the theater came from the church in many ways. They are related. They are deeply related, I feel.
Absolutely. Can I ask what drew you to this project?
Many things drew me to this project. I loved the script itself. And being able to go to Ireland was, an exciting idea. I'd never spent time there. And working with Maggie Smith and Kathy Bates, not too shabby.
No, not at all.
Particularly since both women, their work had really influenced me early on, and still does, for that matter. So, and then once I got there, I was introduced to all these wonderful Irish artists who were just fantastic. Mark O'Halloran and Aggie O'Casey, who's actually British, but her heritage is Irish. And the designers, who were remarkable, just amazing designers.
Fantastic. I spoke to Thaddeus the other day, and we had a great conversation building off of what you're just saying right now, just the way that the film managed to maintain its Irish identity, right down to the inclusion of music, moved me and it was so thoughtful. I'm so glad you had that opportunity to get to meet with so many wonderful Irish people. They're some of my favorite people in the world, but I'm a little bit biased.
I understand why.
Who,
I have a lot of Irish friends, so
you have a lot of Irish friends.
I understand.
I think the Irish are natural performers, so I'm not surprised to hear that.
True.
Who would you like to see this movie? Who do you think needs to see it? Who do you think is going to get something out of it?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
I mean, the obvious answer to that is women.
Mm-hmm.
is not only to see, what deep relationships can bring, but also the evolution of where we are now as opposed to where we were then.
Mm-hmm.
And culturally, how the role of women has changed, how it's drastically different from culture to culture. But then I think it really is a movie for everybody. If you have had a close relationship with someone, if you have loved someone dearly, and then that relationship changes, and then changes back, I think it will speak deeply to people who have worked through transformation in their own way.
I appreciate
a little
that.
coded, but I hope that makes sense.